Welcome, everyone, to Detox Diaries with Dr. Roni and Gillian, and myself, Dodi Deach, your head detox coach. I'm excited. It's August 18th. I'm a couple of weeks away from a group of us doing a 21-day detox with Dr. Roni because it's my fourth annual one with Dr. Roni. So I'm quite excited to do that again. Tonight, we're doing a little bit more diving into the evolution of Dr. Roni's detox program. So we have a tight agenda. We're going to ask everybody to save the questions till the end, and Dr. Roni will be able to answer the questions at the end of the session today. So we want to talk about the enhanced online detox certification program and our upcoming detox. So I'm going to ask Jillian to step in right now and share her vision that her and Dr. Roni have created around the online detox.
Okay. Well, I think Dr. Roni has a more of an extended vision. When we first did this program, it's been a year. We had a celebration and a couple of weeks ago where we did like a 1 year anniversary of this particular program, this modified version of Dr. Roni's online detox. And her and I, like Dr. Roni, just like you, Dodi, have worked together for a number of years. And it all started with and just going to quickly share my story, is when I was invited to come to work with her on a different project. I was invited to come and help her with some social media marketing. And, I went to spend some time in Martha's Vineyard. And I was going through my own transformational journey at that point where I was healing from a brain injury. And some people have heard the story, some people haven't, but I basically walked into Dr. Roni's waiting room, and like within half an hour of meeting her, she said, "I know what's wrong with you. You have to get on the detox now." Like it was like non-negotiable, right? So, and then during that time frame where I was working, like literally, Dr. Roni, I was there, like I was in one of your conference rooms on the retreat, and I was sitting there working for the entire time I was there to help do this masterclass and online and doing that. But then every day you said, "No, what? You got to do something. You're going to do this program. You're going to do my program." I had no idea what your program was, but you just told me when to take a drink, when to have water, when to go pee, because I had to do the ketone test with you. And, you're basically telling me exactly what I had to do. And then I just kept losing weight. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm losing more weight. I'm losing more weight. I'm losing more weight. And then I had a healing crisis. And then she's like, oh my gosh, it's okay. It's normal. You're going to be fine. Just, work through it. I'll make sure you're okay. And then I built this love and trust with this wonderful woman. And over that time frame, I lost 31 pounds in 3 weeks. In 21 days, 31 pounds. And I just remember calling my husband up and crying. I said, "I can't believe I've never felt this good in my life." And, I can't even, I have no clothes to wear. I had to go shopping at Martha's Vineyard. Like, I can't afford Martha's Vineyard. Thank God I found a secondhand, consignment store for me. But the bottom line is I ended up meeting Dr. Roni, and I learned a lot about things I wish I had learned when I was younger. If I'd been aware of some of these processes when I was younger, I would be in a different state than I was when I walked through that door with Dr. Roni. So this became a mission, became a calling. And then in turn, what's happened is we tried it. We did a beta test program a couple of years ago with Dodi, and we had great success. It was a different version of what we're doing today. So today's version is is an online version, but we've now partnered with the right products, the right process that is more targeted to the after COVID era, where people are also helping, now look at natural solutions that include building their immune system, and health. And now I know more. I'm more excited about the future, what we have to offer, but we need the right people to understand it, not only from, lover of the program, like, if some of you here are lovers of the program and done it a couple of times, and now you're advocates of, Dr. Roni and the process. But what we want to do now is enhance it by bringing in the right talent, the right educational, communicators out there that can work with Dr. Roni. So this is why I want Dr. Roni to step forward and explain what her vision is for the extended detox program, or the healing leaders, I like to call it. Okay. All right, Dr. Roni, over to you.
Thank you, Gillian. One of the things that I always think about is I go way back when I met this gentleman, James Hester, when he came to my retreat, and he said to me, and I'm mild, and my personality is just very meek, right? And he says to me, "So, hey, doc, so I want to do A, and then I want to do some salmon, and then I want to do some broccoli." And he named his entire program that he thought he was going to do at my retreat. And I let him go through the whole thing. And I said to him, "You are not doing that here. Not that it's a bad thing. It's just that this is a detox. This is not a diet." And I always have to explain to people that this is a detox. What is the difference between a detox and a diet? A diet, all you got to do is just lose the calories and you lose a little weight, or go running and you lose a little weight. But at the same time, you're going to keep all your toxins. So if you remove the toxicity from the body, your organs will thank you. Your liver will thank you. Your kidneys will thank you. Your pancreas will thank you. Your colon will thank you. Your lymphatic system will thank you. And that's what happened to you, Jillian. When you came to the retreat, I saw all over you. I saw so much inflammation, so much edema. And I wasn't going to tell you those words in the beginning to scare you. I just kept saying to you mildly and softly, you got to do the detox. Most people think it's about the weight loss, but it's not. You don't find out until afterwards. You realize how good you look, yes, and how great you feel. And that's because you released a boatload of toxins and a lot of inflammation. When the body's on fire, that's what inflammation is. Do you know what you feel? You feel fatigue, you feel brain fog, you lose your memory. Even if you press your legs with your finger, you'll say ouch. A lot of people don't do that. Take a look at your legs. Press it deeply and see if you feel tenderness. You're not supposed to feel tenderness. That's toxicity, guys. So, my dream and my legacy is to leave with people. It's not about the weight loss. That's a side effect. That's going to happen. But what I want you to think about is, wow, how did I lose that much weight in 21 days? Well, it was a lot more than weight. It was a lot of toxicity, a lot of chronic inflammation. It was so much that you lost in 21 days. But let's talk about what you gained in 21 days. You gain antioxidants that nobody else would get, even if they did it in 21 days. They would not get the amount of antioxidants that you've gotten in 21 days. And they would not have allowed the acid to leave the body and the alkalinity to increase in the body. They would have not had the opportunity to say to those organs, take a break. Let me give you some enzymes. You would have not had the opportunity to say, colon, take a break. Let me give you some probiotics, which we need. The word pro means positive. The word pro means good. Anti is bad. So all of these things that you're doing in 21 days is all about immunity, and it is about repairing the body's cellular space. And there's so many different detoxes out there, but I've not seen anything that's come as close and as powerful as this detox, because you're able to do it in your own home. You're able to feel comfortable that you could take a green drink, an antioxidant drink, an anti-inflammatory drink, enzymes, probiotics, and feel great after 21 days. And then I've decided, okay, because the publisher, when before I got my New York Times bestseller, she kept telling me, you know what, let's just talk about the weight. And I kept saying, but I don't want to talk about the weight. I'm a naturopathic doctor. I'm a registered nurse. I'm a healer. I don't want to talk about the weight. And she kept telling me, I promise you, if you get people to lose weight, now, guys, we're going way back years when I wrote this book, right? But she said, if I promise you that if you get people to lose weight, she says they'll come to you for everything. I didn't believe her. Then I got the New York Times bestseller, and people started calling me for all types of chronic diseases and illnesses. based on the fact that they thought losing the 21 pounds in 21 days was miraculous. But it wasn't about the weight that they kept telling me. They kept saying, I just never felt this good. Just like Gillian said, I couldn't imagine feeling this good after 21 days. So that's when I started to think about the 5 highs. And I'm really proud of the 5 highs because I've seen the high fives for so many years. I've watched you. I've watched people. I've watched them with high blood pressure, number one, high cholesterol, number two, high sugar, number three, high weight, number four, high stress and toxicity, a recipe for death. I've watched it. And finally, I started researching and talking to not just scientists, but I talked to allopathic doctors and naturopathic doctors. And I was speaking to healers in different spaces. And I realized that the high fives is a metabolic disorder. And doctors don't take that as a metabolic disorder. They treat you one on one, right? Well, here's your 3 drugs for your blood pressure. Here's your 2 drugs for your cholesterol. Oh, your A1C is high. Got to put you on a little metformin. You're not ready for insulin yet. Let's try metformin. And then, you know what? Stress, let's give you a little Xanax. No, maybe you need some Prozac. And toxicity, we don't know what to do about that. So here we are in 2025 trying to figure out what to do about something that's so easy. In my world, for me, I think it's so easy to cure the high fives.
Okay. Right. On that, I'm going to come on camera here with you then, Dr. Roni, because you and I have talked about the certification program for a while now, right? And we have actually interviewed some candidates that are looking to become an extended detox coach amongst our team. And so we are looking at doing a curriculum, and we also have a training platform and plan where we're going to be inviting individuals that are to come on board and learn from you, Dr. Roni. This is going to be enhanced training. And if you have a medical background, or if you're a wellness enthusiast and looking to expand your practice alongside somebody that has the talent that can share, I'd love to, Dr. Roni, for those that maybe are listening for the first time, or those experts that are going to be listening to the recording that are interested in this position, I'd like them to know a little bit about who you are, okay? A little bit about why you do what you do. I know your skill set. I know what you've done, because I've had witness of knowing you for 4 years. But somebody brand new, or a new up and coming naturopath, or a new physician with a practice that's similar in the industry that's focusing on natural healing, why would they want to work with you, Dr. Roni? What is it about Dr. Roni and your background and your influence? And I know you don't like dropping names. You're the most humble person in the world, right? But people need to know who you are, like, and what you can do for them.
I think who I were and who I am today is just a little bit different. So who I were is I traveled the world helping celebrities and helping politicians. And that was because they scooped me up after I got the New York Times bestseller. But prior to that, I believe that I was always in a space of integrative, naturopathic, holistic field. And that tell you that's I'm not ashamed to say that's based on my grandmother, who died at 102, who didn't remember that she did not take one medication ever, not one. And they've tried many times to get my grandmother throughout her life to take medication for blood pressure and cholesterol and on and on and on. And she's just said, I'm not doing it. She went in her garden, went in her backyard, and she would take roots out of the dirt or vegetables out of the dirt, go in her kitchen and cook it or make a cocktail. That's what I saw. That's when I realized that's health. And I took on that method by watching her, because here she was, so healthy at her age. And I had to understand that when she said that's not natural, and I'm going to school learning about how to heal people, but I wasn't learning that. I was learning how to give them medications. And I was looking up in the PDR every couple of days, trying to understand, what's that medication? What will that do? What's the side effects? What are the benefits? And it was crazy, because every time I looked at the benefits, it was at least 10 side effects. And so I was going nowhere. So that's the world I came from. And there was some trauma coming from that allopathic world. I had to opt out of the allopathic world, which means working in a hospital with medical doctors and nurses, not with integrative and holistic. I was working in a field where I saw so many mistakes. I saw things that I didn't think that God would forgive me for. When I had to, it was called the silent code. It's like, oops, okay, you made that mistake, go on vacation for a week or two. Let's forget about that. And then we would move on. But I felt like there was a better way. And that to me was learning how to be the most humble, holistic, naturopathic doctor or healer in this space. And I knew how to do that based on my grandmother. And that meant, let's first take the body, mind, and spirit, because you cannot do anything. And I know Alice knows what I'm talking about. If your mind says you can't do it, you can't do it. If you cannot take your body with a bad liver disease and say, okay, body, heal my liver. If the mind says no, your liver will not heal. So I had to learn what body, mind, and spirit was. No, it was not just reading a book. I had to live it. I had to teach it. I had to understand it. And Lord knows I had to make a lot of mistakes. And so here I am today, when this man came to me and said, I want to do your detox, but I want to do it my way. And as shy as I was, I said, I love your diet, but this is not a diet. This is a detox. And that's when he understood and started respecting me. And in 21 days, he lost not just the weight, he lost the inflammation, he gained his brain back, he gained his focus back, and he understood what a detox was. It wasn't a diet. He was repairing his cellular space. So when I started this certification, I wanted everyone to understand that when I certify someone, I'm certifying you on how the body can heal itself by giving it what it needs. When Socrates says, let medicine be your food and let food be your medicine, that is profound. That's one of the most powerful statements in the field of medicine, but it's also ignored. How could we ignore something like that? I've lived it to see my grandmother live that. So when I certify someone, I'm teaching them how to heal the body, but they're also losing the weight, and probably losing the weight because they got a boatload of toxins. That's why they're losing the weight. And also, let me tell you the other thing why you lose the weight, and people don't think about this. When you give your body what it needs, it will work miracles for you. And so
Mhm.
you start giving your body all of these minerals and antioxidants and vitamins and phyto. And you know what? One of the things that someone said to me before is, why is it that when I go on a diet, I don't lose weight, but when I go on your detox, I lose weight? I says, because you're giving the body what it's asking for. When you lose
Mhm.
weight, you are denying the body what it needs. And the body is smarter than your brain. The body is telling you that if you give me what I need, I will lose the weight for you. But when you go on a diet, you're not giving the body what it needs. You're giving the body less food, less minerals, less vitamins. You are starving the body. The body's trying to save your life.
And there's, right now, there's so much confusion, out there with all these programs that, I don't want to name all of them that's out there, but we're seeing a lot of people going through some lawsuits right now because of the extreme side effects that they're experiencing with these drugs out there. And you know what, I remember, working with you and you were talking about the detox, but then you started talking about how your detox, you have targeted detoxes for 21 chronic illnesses. And, now that I know of it and now actually observed it and actually watched some of the processes and taking some of your training and taking some understanding, I'm actually transferring some of this knowledge now to my dog, right? So I'm actually using some of this, practicing that I've learned to understand what my dog might be needing from digestive enzymes. My dog might be needing some probiotics. So I'm actually learning a lot more about what other people need, including my family members. So the more we learn about not just detoxing, but some of the knowledge that you transfer with some of our trainings, which I sometimes people forget. And I know I just want to, if it's okay, I'm going to call on Amy, and I'm sorry, excuse my language, Cora, if she can. Cora's our emotional detox therapist. And this is part of the reason why it's great for those that are coming in as looking to maybe partner as a detox therapist with their own practice. But Cora supplements her practice, or meditation practice and a mindset practice, and she is our designated emotional detox therapist. But one of the things I'd like you to share, Cora, if you could, is a little bit about briefly who you are, but also your experience with not just the detox, but the education on the PEVI program, which is part of the training that we do for everybody doing the 21-day program right now. So, because that blew my mind, because you kind of reversed it and had great results. Okay. Over to you, Cora.
Yes, thank you. And just to clarify, those that know me, especially like Dr. Roni, she probably wonders, what in the world is she calling her Cora? But I'm going back to my original name, Dr. Roni, and that was my nickname growing up as a little girl. So I'm taking that name back. But Alice, Cora, same person, but not the same after that PEVI experience. So what I do is, in my own hometown, before I met Dr. Roni, I had dedicated my life and changed my life around being under the care of a Chinese doctor after having cancer, to help other people who suffer from things like cancer, but also from domestic violence, from emotional things that lead us to eating in ways that can be harmful to us. So when I traveled last year to the island and met Dr. Roni, it was just magical. And the first thing she says, Alice, I need to baptize you with the emotional detox therapist. There were a lot of things that I did on that island, but one of the things that Dr. Roni confirmed and was very, very certain of was my ability to speak to people and create in them a comfort, create in them a confidence, so that what Dr. Roni does can work. Because if your mind is somewhere else, we had people from all ages, but especially the older folks. They come in and they're scared and they don't know what to think. So I could sit there and talk to them and kind of ease their mind. Or we had patients who want to run out the door. I only have 15 minutes. I only have 30 minutes. I need to get out of here. Can you hurry up and take this IV out of my arm? And Dr. Roni would be like, Alice, could you just talk to the gentleman and, keep him comfortable and let him feel that he's safe. So that's how that started with the emotional detox therapist. The best part for me is that when I got there, Dr. Roni just moves into action. Maybe she is meek in a certain way, but she also knows what she's talking about. And when she knows what she knows, she doesn't hesitate. Alice, do you see those little jars right there in the refrigerator? Those 3 jars, those are yours. You're going to drink them morning, afternoon, and evening. And then you're going to get a meal at the end of the day, some veggies and blah, 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 and drink plenty of water. And then I'm going to need you to pee in the cup and do all this. And I'm like, okay. And my biggest shock was the size of the jars were 8 ounces. And I've done juicing. I did juicing for 41 days when I had cancer, but I did 16 ounces. Maybe I was being a little lazy. I don't want to keep going back. I don't know. But when I asked her, she goes, that's all you need in one serving, just 8 ounces, Alice, no more. I'm like, wow. And so that's what I do now in my kitchen. I changed it all around when I came back. So PEVI is the way I started. And some of the people who've done the detox, or if some of you are planning on doing the detox, the PEVI is the most important part. When you come off of the detox after the 21 days, Do not celebrate thinking you're going to go have that cheeseburger or pizza or beer, whatever you want. It's about the PEVI. So Dr. Roni started me on the PEVI first. So before I even did the detox, I lost 20 pounds before I even did the detox. So much that Dr. Roni was saying, Alice, I don't know if I want you to start the detox. You've already lost so much weight. You're disappearing on me. Actually, one day I came down, showered, and I was all dressed up. I come down and she did a double take. She goes, I didn't recognize you. She said, did we have a new client? Someone's here new? Because she couldn't recognize me. So, so the point of the PEVI is to really, really take care of yourself. The sugar is the #1 culprit, I believe, especially it feeds cancer, right? So what did I do one evening? I thought I was being smart and I go buy 2 cantaloupes and I come home and I tell Dr. Roni, look what I got for our dinner. I was still not very familiar, or I didn't remember, because we're so programmed to believe it's good for you. You know, it's a fruit. She says, Alice, where in the acronym PEVY, PEVY, do you see an F for fruit or S for sugar? I'm like, oh, nowhere. She goes, that's because we don't have it. It's not part of your PEVI. And I'm like, oh, well, let's give it to somebody. I mean, I didn't want to just throw them away. I figured we're going to give sugar to somebody else when I won't take it. But it was hilarious. And it was the best experience. And the PEVI really does help you long term. I'm back home. It's been a year. I feel wonderful. And yes, Dr. Roni's very logical. And she says, hey, sometimes you want the piece of cake if it's someone's birthday, or you want a small bowl of watermelon, go ahead and eat it. But 2 things, don't beat yourself up for it. Enjoy it. Stay grounded. And second, you know what to do the next day. Start detoxing and get that sugar out. So that's how it happened for me.
And how much weight did you lose during those 3 months, Cora?
Well,
Just for the record.
more, but in the 21 days, 20 days. So I was there about 15 days on the PEVI. Altogether, I lost 47 pounds.
Wow.
And not even really trying. And I didn't exercise much. I did walk. Because Dr. Roni does recommend at least do some walking, get it moving, you know, but it wasn't strenuous exercise. I didn't go and hike and climb mountains or anything like that. I just took it easy and walked around the island. And that was enough to get all the toxins out.
Perfect. Thank you. And no side effects, no drugs, nothing like that. So
No side. My skin clear. My hair started to go dark again when it was so white. My hair started to get darker. The side effects were good side effects. Nothing to be alarmed about.
perfect. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Cora, for coming in. And I did put your link in the chat, in the group chat. So just because of the interest of time, I just want to just quickly reiterate the reason why we're having this call. You know, you've heard Dr. Roni talking a little bit more in depth about what she offers. We are, again, we did do an ad on LinkedIn. We have a couple people that are interested in the actual detox coach program. For those that are here looking at that, please reach out to me afterwards separately with any questions that you may have. I do want to talk a little bit to the attendees that are here tonight that are curious about our September 1st detox that's coming up. So I'll hand this over to Dodie in a few minutes, but just so you guys know, and a reminder, I did put some additional links in the chat, but please join the detox group that we have, the Dr. Roni detox private Facebook group. There's a lot of information in there, a lot of testimonials. If you go into the guides in the feature section, there's a lot of documents created to explain the program. Because it is a different type of detox, we're trying to give you some resources to help you explain it. Some of you have already done the program, so you can, you know the rules of how it works. But for somebody coming in, they don't know that they're not supposed to chew for 21 days. But it doesn't mean that they don't have food. They have loss in nutrition. So we have a document that, it's called drronidetox.com/explanation. That is just a one pager that explains the whole program to them with with a chart, making it easy. It's all about following the rainbow. You notice the detox diary, you're following the rainbow. Like you basically, every 2 hours you're having nutrition, and every other hour on the hour you're having some distilled water. But keeping it simple. But for those that need to have some more information, we've done a lot of research. There's an FAQ for questions. So there's a lot of questions that we've compiled over the last couple of years of doing this online version. And remember, this online version, like we've modified it for the Facebook community and public, but Dr. Roni was doing online detoxing for years, right? So she did her own version of telehealth. So this is a gift of what we're doing right now, to make so that she can spread it to the masses. But we want to make sure that we have the right people to help share it. And it's not just Dr. Roni getting the phone call. Okay, what is this question about this? And, I have somebody that, has got, chronic disease. Can they do the program? Well, we want to be able to refer them to somebody that can help them with those answers, not just Dr. Roni. And fortunately, we have the beautifully and talented, Dodie, which I'm going to bring forward. Dodie and I have history. She helped me write the manuals, and I want you guys to be aware. We have a lot of manuals. We have a really great booklet that was pulled together with all talks about the 4 phases of the detox, a lot of reference material. There's recipes for the green drink, and there's recipes for the juicing, and there's the PEVI manual. Oh my gosh, that is a gift, like that will keep you going forever and a day. Like that is we haven't even really pushed that one, Dr. Roni, but the PEVI. Dr. Roni, what does PEVI mean? Like for those that are new, what does PEVI stand for?
So I took anything that is essential for your life. I created a program, a diet, a lifestyle. So I really call it PEVI lifestyle. So P is protein, E is essential fatty acids, V is vegetables, and Y is your essentials. And I think when you have PEV without the Y, you can do the PEV, PEV. But we've done so much research over the years, Gillian, that almost 69% of the public cannot live without the Y. And Y is your essentials. And those essentials are based on what you're lacking. It's just like 10 years ago, we thought, that vitamin D was insignificant. And now we realize that vitamin D is the precursor to a good immunity, right? So we're learning all these things. And so when I do blood work, I find out that so many of us are lacking in essential nutrients. And I had to add the Y to the PEV, and that's your lifestyle. We cannot live without PEVI. Now, I know people say, well, what about fruit? Fruit was created on the earth as of foods for pleasure, dessert. And of course, you have some good nutrients in it as well. But it's not required to live. Okay? PEV is protein. You cannot live without protein. E, essential fats. You cannot live without essential fats. And V is for vegetables. That's to cleanse the body. You cannot live without that. And Y, you must know what your essential needs are.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. That's perfect. So on that note, talking about the added bonus of PEVI that we have that comes with the aftermath of the detox, there's a manual on that. And so I just want to hand it over to Dodie. A quick introduction to Dodie. Dodie and I have had a lot of history and training, but she actually knew detoxing before I knew detoxing, was more into health kick than I was ever into it. So when we were brought into Dr. Roni's world because she, learned about what we went through, she said, I need to get to know who Dr. Roni is. And she's been an advocate ever since. So she now leads our detox program. She is the person that, you go to for the questions inside the community. And, she'll be a great resource for any new detox coming in. But she will share right now a little bit about the upcoming September 1st group detox. And And just as a quick reminder, you can do this at any time. You don't have to start with us at September 1st. It's like I might even start next week. As soon as I get my products, I might even start because I need it because I've gone through a lot of stress the last 3 months. But I think I think I'll do it with you because it's always good to do it as a group, right? So
Yes.
over to you, Dodie. Okay.
Very good.
Thank you. Thank you. And Dr. Ronnie's doing it with us too.
Yep. Fun. After
So,
August on the vineyard, you have to. Woo.
oh, after August in Saskatchewan, I need to. And Dr. Ronnie, the reason I love doing it now is because, well, I live in Canada and I live where it's like sometimes colder than the moon. So,
Whoa, I didn't know that.
yeah, colder than the planet Mars sometimes. Um, this is our season for gardens, right? So to me, it just makes sense to reset myself before I head into winter and take advantage of it. So September 1st will be the kickoff for some of us. Bear
Okay.
in mind, some will come in on Tuesday, Wednesday, some might start a week later. Everyone is welcome. It's 21 days. You will be put into the participants group where I will ask that you read the manuals and the guides because that's going to probably, I think, with Jillian and there was Claudia and Jody and I, when we created it, I think we covered almost every single question anybody could have when they're doing this online and from their own homes. But we do have a chat that you can pop into anytime. We encourage you to cheer each other on. I think that's important. Ellis also gave us some tips for your mind and spirit.
Good.
Journaling is so important, even if it's only one sentence a day. So if you're here listening and you want to be a part of this, reach out to the person who brought you into the group. They can send you their link.
Okay.
And I have been on both sides of the fence, same as Jillian and of course Dr. Ronnie, where I would spend time in my kitchen juicing all my juices all day and making my soups. Not that I spent all day in there, believe me, I got it down to a fine art. When people told me, they're like, "Oh, it just takes so much time." And I'm like, "Yeah, it takes me about an hour to make enough juices for 3 days." And you think about how much time it takes you to cook a meal every day, right? So give yourself this gift and, maximize your nutrition,
Yes. Yeah.
right? What is it? One day, Dr. Ronnie, of this program gives you about 2 weeks of nutrition if you weren't to do it, right?
It's shocking
Yes.
how much nutrition you get in one day, according to the average person that lives on the what's the word? And the lower economic, you know, they don't get this amount of nutrition in months.
Oh
And
my
the
goodness.
average person don't get this amount of nutrition in a week or two.
Yes.
And we get it when you go on a detox in one day, partly not just only because of the nutrition that's in the product, but the other part is the absorption level that we increase by doing the detox. When you increase the absorption level and remove some of the toxicity, that's partly the reason why the nutrition enters into our cellular space.
Hmm. And that's why we have the space between the consumptions of the drinks, right? The red, the green,
Yes,
and the yellow. It
yes,
allows your body to do the maximum absorption, and your
yes.
body will thank you. I've noticed my skin change, my
Mm-hmm.
weight change. I never really got back my dark hair.
You got to put some more B vitamins. I think
I
it's
know I better
one
max
of
those
those,
out.
one of the B vitamins. I think it's thiamine. I'm not really sure, but look it up.
I'll
You
look
look
it up.
great, but you look great with that color anyway.
Yes.
Don't
So
sweat the small stuff.
I'm not sweating that. I'm embracing it.
Yeah,
That's the small
yeah.
stuff. And you know what? Even my husband says to me, "Your skin's always so smooth when you're on the detox."
Yeah,
I
see,
gotta
he
get back.
notices it. Yes,
I gotta get
exactly.
back. He loves that reward.
Yes.
So I invite everyone to join. Dr. Ronnie will be joining us Mondays at this time, 8 p.m. Eastern, to come on and we will talk about what you're feeling, what you're encountering, and how to overcome it at those times. But we're only a text away, all of us coaches. We're on one big group chat, and I welcome everybody. And I actually challenge everybody. I have never really done that pose where you stand in your tank top and shorts and do your measurements. I've just even I kind of am a little fearful of it, but I'm gonna do it this time. So I'm gonna, but I don't do it for the weight loss. I do it for everything else.
Yeah, there
Okay,
you
all right.
go.
All right. So on that note, I'm just going to stop the recording, and then we have a few minutes for Q&A, and then Dr. Roni, we're going to stay on this Zoom after when everybody leaves. Because I just want to introduce you to somebody, but let's just stop the recording, and thank you for everybody. Thank you for everybody that showed up tonight, and I'm looking forward to losing another 21 pounds in a couple of weeks because I need it. Okay.
Me too, or whatever you call it. Let's just call it some